emails, you can say salaries, kind of the things. Eventually, at the end of the day, you require to get salary, and some of the cases, automated emails going to be forward for the client users at the month of the you can say subscription kind of the thing, or premium account kind of the thing. They are using triggers only at the time. If they are using the SQL database, they are using the triggers only in this case. Similarly, you can create the update triggers or insert triggers in the separate tables. That is also enforce your integrated data and scenario based scenario kind of the triggers is going to be validated before or after event. So let's play around with the example. We are already seen the employees example, employee ID, first name, last name, and also the email and phone number, hire data, and job ID. So let's play around with this. Suppose we want to change our values. Okay, so we want to change some of the values in the salary column. Okay, we have salary column, just want to change. So for that, we just going to be create the new table, storing the changes corresponding to that, and use a trigger to insert the changes into the table. So let's look on to that. What are the salary changes we have to make? So I'm just creating the new one. Salary changes, create a table, salary changes, employee, integer data type, changed at date time, default current timestamp. This means this is going to be very helpful. Default timestamps is going to be very helpful whenever you are working with current timestamp. So I'm current timestamps, suppose 1st of August 2022. At this time it's going to be allocated a time into the changed at. Okay, changed at this time period. Then old salary, the data type with consisting of the decimal, and also the new salary consisting of the decimal. So I have changed my salary from old salary to new salary. Okay, with this timestamp. So what if the primary key, the employee ID, and also the change in date? This is the primary keys, right? Obviously. So let's see how does that going to be helpful. So you just changed the salary, and the table locks is going to be stored with your old and also the new salary corresponding to whatever the current timestamps you're going to be follow with. What if the change date column uses the current timestamp by defaultly to log the time whenever the change is going to be occur, right? So let's see how does the trigger going to be helpful before the updating the salary. So before updating the salary, I'm just creating the before updating the salary as a trigger before update on employees. So this is a table name. Okay, this is a table name for each row. Okay, so for each row, begin with new dot. You can see the new dot salary not equal to. This is nothing but a not equal to older dot salary then. So I'm testing some alias to understand so that we'll also see how does it going to be very helpful. So insert into the salary changes, employee ID, old salary, new salary, like that, and values corresponding to the employee ID, new salary, and salary, new salary, and values are going to be inserted. I'm just declaring the if condition. So if is basically tells about if this going to be not equal, then it will be entered into this inserting values. If it is going to be equal, it may not be works out. Enter into these values. So basically, what exactly we have to do? We have to update the salary corresponding to the old salary, whatever he needs. So for that, we are just creating a trigger, right? So what will happen? What will happen if suppose this cell is going to be run? The new salary is different from the old salary. What will happen in the trigger time before updating the salary trigger time? We will use the old and new the column concepts, right? So how does that going to be helpful let's go and check out that how does that going to be helpful, and check some of the current salary. What exactly is current salary is? Current salary is 8,200. What if the salary is going to be raised by 5% of the chance? Okay, so I will just add that 5%. Okay, I will just add that 5% to get the new salary. So he will going to be get 8,610, right? So previous salary is 8,200. The updated salary is 8,600. Then modify your triggers. Then modify your triggers. So what will happen eventually to do any kind of the changes in the trigger itself? Create or replace trigger. Create or replace trigger. This is a very basic keyword. Trigger name, before event or after event, on table type, or trigger type, you can say. Begin and end date, trigger logics. So if you want to delete the triggers, you can directly use the syntax delete or drop. Okay, so drop is going to be very helpful for the trigger if it's only going to be existing or not. First you have to check that if it does not exist, it may not be also, it will give it will return as a false result at the end. Similarly, the trigger if it's going to be exit before updating the value, just delete that. That's it. So this is very simple to understand. Once you understood the logic, what why we are doing as a trigger and what are the requirement frequency we are going to be updating the salary or not. So by using the current timestamps, how does that going to be helpful? Let's also discuss more into the other concept called as subquery. So we have seen queries to write, right? Queries to write we have seen in the SQL. So what is the basic difference between the queries and subqueries? Let's try to understand first. This is not an operations or not a concept, you would say. This is just a understanding perspective with respect to the in the SQL subqueries or nested queries, we can also call it as subqueries or nested queries. Nested. Okay, so let's try to understood the queries we just now seen by using the select, where, update, delete, delete, or alter, like that. So some of the queries we have written only in one line of the code or one line of the queries. What if I going to be write multiple queries with 3 to 4 lines, 3 to 4 lines. So at that time I will fetch query inside the query. Q1 is inside Q2. Similarly,